Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Friday, March 5th, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is Gamespot's Michael Higham.
Hey, what up, man? Hey, I hear this intro almost every damn morning. But you know what? I love to hear it. It wakes me up. I'm like, oh damn, I gotta get ready for my own meetings. Bless is up. I gotta be up. So
that's the thing about this episode is that for those who don't know, me and you are roommates, right? We've been roommates for the last half year. We've been homies for a while, right? Like we met on Twitter. I want to say about 2 years ago because our mutual love of Undertale.
Yeah.
And then back then I had you on one of my podcasts that I was doing for OKB, so we got to talk about it, and we became really cool friends ever since then. When I moved out to SF, we were like, "Yo, let's connect, let's become roommates."
A lot of people are upset that you guys are not doing this in the same room. A lot of people in the chat.
I figured as much. Look, Bless and I are very busy. We're busy boys, and it's a lot of setup. And Bless has got something to do afterwards. We don't got time for that. But you know what? The people have spoken. So Bless and I, we can figure something out. We got so much space. Oh, we need a dinner table. That's what.
Yeah, no, we still got. Me and him are very much slackers in terms of shit we got to do.
Whoa.
Like our living room still needs so much more work in terms of actually turning this house into a home. And so we need to get a dinner table and or a coffee table that converts into a dinner table, one of those things. Yeah. We got to do all that shit. Here's the thing, right? We could be sitting in the same room, but the solution that Kevin brought to me when I brought to him the idea of, hey, what can we do if we want to do this? He was like, hey, just sit at the same desk and move the mic back and forth. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. That is the worst way to do a podcast.
Nobody wants to be really funny though.
It'd be terrible.
I got omnidirectional on my shit, so we can do that. No promises on the quality.
That's the thing, is the audio quality would suffer.
Yeah,
and I know how much people care about audio quality.
Listen, we got priorities though. I bought a weight set. I bought an exercise bike. I got Xbox Series X. I got PS5s. Before the next gen consoles launch, I don't know if I can say this, but I guarantee you, this household had the most next gen consoles before launch.
1,000%.
How you feel?
1,000%. Now, that was actually my first question to ask you. Is like, how much do you hear when I'm hosting the shows from your room? Like, do you hear the entire shows?
Yo, that's awesome. These balls is thin. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like I said, when I hear you intro, I'm like, oh shit, yo, what time is it? Because then sometimes I hear you like prepping at like 8 o'clock. I'm like, damn.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. Also,
sometimes I'll do pre ad reads just to like give a practice.
Okay, helps me out. And sometimes like Bless plays music when he showers, and like
damn it, I know you heard that.
Oh my hell, yo, what made you think I didn't hear
it? Blessing, what is your shower music? Because I also do that, and I also like the way our apartment's laid out. Like the bathroom that Alyssa and I use is kind of close to Andy's room, and so I always wonder if Andy can hear me playing music. But I'm wondering, what's your shower music, Blessing?
Michael, you can tell him.
It's a lot of air horns. It's sometimes I hear Migos, and I'm like, yo, I hadn't heard that track in a minute, but also I'll be like, oh, that shit kind of sounds fire. But I imagine there's a lot of music you find through TikTok, because I know y'all Gen Z motherfuckers out there is listening to some wild shit. But I respect.
I'm still a millennial. I'm technically a millennial. I'm 2 years older than Gen Z. It is a lot of air horns because I do listen to like a lot of like hardcore hip hop when I'm taking a shower, because that's like if you want to take a hard ass shower, right? Whereas like you're really scrubbing in there. Oh my God, listen to some Tupac while you're showering. It'll change your whole life.
Fucking bow, 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 bow. You got to get in the crevices. That's how you stay clean.
Michael, you work for GameSpot. What do you do? Like, what is your role?
I am a writer, editor, and sometimes video host as well. So folks may have seen me hosting E3 stage shows, Life Lex. But most of the time I'm on editorial, so I mostly do features, and I do editorial work. I help edit other people's stuff, so it goes up to publish on time and all clean, with ideas all expressed very clearly. So I do that, and I tend to cover Japanese games. Listen, if you know anything about my work, it's either Persona, Final Fantasy, Yakuza, or any other weeb shit on GameSpot. It's me. That's my jam. That's kind of like for several years at this point, those are kind of the spaces I've been moving in. So I've been able to like kind of keep up with the progression of different Japanese games. And so I have a lot of interviews with a lot of developers, localization, things like that. But I transitioned to a lot of other stuff. So when Hitman 3 rolled around, I did a lot of Hitman 3 coverage. because I fuck with the series like that. So I have a very diverse set of skills. I must say, I'm not pitching for a job out here. I don't know if the bag is nice, but I do cover a lot of different things. But my I guess no one really, Tam doesn't like say, okay, this is your specialty. It's just when something comes in, when something pops off, Tam's like, it's you, dog. Like I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go. Like when Final Fantasy VII news broke out, like Tam's just like, hey, you take care of that, right? I'm like, say less. So that's kind of like the spaces I move in, because everyone wants to have like a specialty and a beat and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm a writer, editor, sometimes video host, and that comes through waves. Like when we need to do, like we did Play for All last year. I did most of the developer interviews and stuff like that, and then some weeks I'm just like, I'm working on this review. So a lot of different things that we do at Games. Everyone at GameSpot does a lot of different things.
And I gotta give you a shout out too, because you work real hard. Like during you mentioned earlier, right, that like at one point, this apartment was probably the apartment with the most next gen consoles in it between the two of us, and that was the thing that I never said before, because I was like, I don't want to get robbed. But like we were rocking like, and that was mostly you. Like you were doing so much next gen coverage for GameSpot. You did like previews of the Series X, previews of the Series S, like doing some of that stuff concurrently. And I forget who reviewed if it was you that did like the final review for GameSpot.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, and so like you're out there doing that work. I know you review pretty much all the Persona games over at GameSpot. You do the Yakuza games, all the weeb shit that you're talking about. And with that, before we actually get into the show proper, I do want to ask, because I feel like this is a good question to ask to get to know people. What are your top 3 favorite games?
Oh, so I can name I can name my top 10 off the top of the dome. So I'm gonna do that.
Do it.
So 1A and 1B. Depending on how I feel when I wake up, it could be one or the other, but it's Persona 5 Royal and Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14. Shouts out to Natalie Flores. Nothing but love and respect for her.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, that is my Alice to my Alfino. So shouts out to her. But yeah, Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy 14, interchangeable. Persona 4 Golden, the original Deus Ex that came out in 2000, Undertale, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG Legend of 7 Stars, Yakuza 0, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Persona 3 Fest or Portable, and then shouts out to Nier Automata and Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 1's my favorite. So that's actually my top 12 right there. So if you fuck with any of those games, shit, then you fuck with me. You fuck with me. So yeah, I feel like that's a good. I think my top 10 or 12 whatever games say a lot about the things I'm most
that tells a story. That lets people know who Michael Higham is. Well, Michael Higham, let's get to know what the news is. Today's stories include a Hogwarts Legacy lead designer leaving the project, support on Artifact coming to an end, and more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindafunny.com/you're-wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, roosterteeth.com, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. Do you hear me do that bang on my desk, by the way?
Yep, I sure do.
Hell yeah. Yeah. To be a part of the show, at patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames or bronze members or above, get to write in, and silver members or above, get the show ad-free with the exclusive daily post show. Housekeeping for you: right after this live episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily, we're streaming Super Mario 3D World in collaboration with Rooster Teeth to raise money for a good cause. That'll be me, Tim, Andy, Snowbike Mike, and Alfredo Diaz right here on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. You don't want to miss out on that. That's happening again right here at around 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, we revealed the new MCU in review intro yesterday, and we have a link to it right here that I'm going to have Barrett pull up for the visuals, right? Because we have this cool intro, and like the Marvel intro itself, the Marvel Cinematic Universe intro, there's a bunch of Easter eggs and a bunch of references within it. And Barrett did a whole awesome tweet thread kind of detailing all the different references. He's going through it right here. Shout out to Barrett Courtney for putting in the good work.
I mean,
busting all that out for us.
Shout out to Cameron Kennedy who did a lot of like the new art and making me Mr. Negative. I think purely just based off of my internet persona as Sad Boy Barrett. I think is the connection there. Which, god damn it, Cameron. But yeah,
I'm a big fan. I was gonna say all the Kinda Funny Games Daily hosts disappearing away.
All the old.
You got Andrea,
co-hosts.
Jared Petty, and Ron and Daniel Dwyer just fading into thin air. That's perfect. And then if you scroll through, one of the ones I liked the most also is Khalif Adams as Black Panther.
Yeah, this one's
Wait,
great.
where is this? Where is this? I want to see this.
So this is on
if you open up
twitter.com/kindoffunnygames.
Yeah, if you open up the kind of funny Twitter, pull that up. And then also on Discord, Michael, we have the watch stream that you can pull up too if you want to see what's going on live as a confidence monitor. But yeah, this is an awesome one, right? Where it's Khalif sitting in front of his what would be Brocago, but it's changed to Welcome to Prakanda, which is such an awesome reference.
That's cute.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so shout out to Cameron Kennedy and all the folks in the community who did art for that, and the folks who were able to put that intro together, because that is incredible. And then, in case you missed it, there's a brand new episode of The Blessing Show up right now where I break down what makes a good puzzle game. I interviewed the dev behind one of my favorite puzzle games, Manifold Garden, and it has some of Roger's best editing to date. You can catch that on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames right now. And let me tell you, you don't want to miss that one, because that is so far my favorite episode of the show to do that I've done. Right? It was a really fun one to put together. Very happy with the outcome of that one. Everybody go watch that episode of The Blessing Show. We also got man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We also got a new episode of the Next Gen podcast coming out this Sunday for Patreon Gold tier supporters. And let me tell you, that is a wild episode. And so if you like chaos, if you like me, Barrett, and Roger just shouting over each other about cartoons and shit, that is the episode for you. And then thank you to our Patreon producers, Mick at the Nanobiologist, Abrahamson, Blackjack, and Trent Berry. Today we're brought to you by Honey, Logitech, and DoorDash, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Starting with our number one, Hogwarts Legacy lead designer quits Avalanche following public backlash. This is from Matthew Handrahan at gamesindustry.biz. Hogwarts Legacy lead designer Troy Leavitt has quit Avalanche Software following a backlash over the content of his personal YouTube channel. Speaking on Twitter, Leavitt announced his decision to leave Avalanche and said he has, quote, nothing but good things to say about the game, the dev team, and WB Games, end quote. Leavitt emphasized the decision as his own, adding that he, quote, felt absolutely secure in my position. I'm in excellent spirits and very pleased with my relationship with WB and Avalanche, end quote. However, Leavitt promised to clarify his reasons in a new video, which will be published on his YouTube channel in the near future. Leavitt's YouTube channel is at the root of the issue. As Kotaku pointed out, his videos contained many controversial opinions, including defenses of public figures accused of sexual misconduct and qualified support of the fundamentally misogynist Gamergate movement. These positions were compounded by Leavitt's proximity to the Harry Potter IP, the creator of which, J.K. Rowling, has been widely criticized for his statements about the trans community. I'm going to stop there. There's more context I'm going to add in a second, but stopping there, Michael, have you been keeping up with this whole Harry Potter situation?
Yeah, as closely, I guess, as anyone else has. And shit, man, yeah, it's like as if Hogwarts Legacy didn't have enough baggage already. Once it started coming out, and I was just like, damn, like you hate to see it, but also like, you know, you face the consequences of your own actions, bro. Like if you are out here publicly saying shit like this, you know, folks was just reporting like, hey, yo, this fool over here is saying this shit, you know, and then, you know, folks is going to speak up about these sorts of things. If you have publicly expressed hostile opinions, you know, what do you expect? What do you think you're going to get out of that? And then so like, we don't want people like this in our communities. So, you know, you want to put the pressure on for like, we don't want people especially in leadership positions to be ones who defend shit like Gamergate or, you know, sexual assault within the, like, fuck out of here with that shit, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Leaving on his own, it's like, all right, good riddance, motherfucker. Like, talk should get hit. You know what I'm saying?
This is definitely, I think, the logical conclusion that this is going to lead towards, right after all that shit came up about the YouTube channel. And also, after that shit came up and he didn't seem apologetic about it, or it wasn't a thing of him being like, sorry, that was part of my past or anything. It very much seems like, no, that's still a part of his present. And so with that being the case, I think that, yeah, like that's not the type of shit you want to see in somebody in a leadership role. And him stepping down, I think this is a fascinating one, because I think I could easily see this being a case of hey, either you step down or we fire you. It has to be one of those two things.
Yeah,
Because this is the pressure is on. I will ask, like, you know, WB Games obviously knew about this, you know, as they hired him onto the project.
I sure hope they did.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing that was brought up by him, apparently, right? Talking in his YouTube channel of like, hey, yeah, like this is a thing that was brought up, and they were cool with me working on the project. Which again leads to so many questions in terms of how are you guys how do you let this happen, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys should have been aware of this.
If letting him come in wasn't a problem with this channel, like what is the culture at that place? Even more so, like what does that speak to who that like what that division is on its own, you know?
Right, because there's also two aspects to him being there in the first place. Is like, okay, either WB, like the folks who decided that he would be on the project, saw this and be like, I guess we can let this slide. And I think that, like, if that's the case, then it's like, you know, WB's also to blame for putting him into that position, or they could have been like, oh shit, we didn't see this, we didn't know anything about it, and then it's like, oh well, I guess you're not vetting people who are in like top level positions for development.
Who have
like,
YouTube channels that are getting that are getting views, right? It's not like this is a YouTube channel that was getting views in the hundreds. Like if you go through his YouTube channel, they're getting views in the thousands and the tens of thousands, and there are videos in there that have hundreds of thousands of views, which is something that you should be aware of as WB. I think this whole situation, I think, kind of brings me back to the thing of, man, it must suck to be at that studio in terms of all the shit that's going on around it. Because you announced that game, you had the controversy of, fuck, man, Harry Potter is in a weird place right now because J.K. Rowling has been stating her more and more vitriolic views, right, as time has gone on. You know, I'm sure when you accept the project studio, right, or you join the studio, for them, for how long they've been working on this game, that probably wasn't as much of an issue that it as it became years down the road. And when that happens, it's like, fuck, man. Well, J.K. Rowling is kind of screwing us here. There was a story. This is the context I'll add, right, from earlier this week. I'm going to pull directly from Polygon because they give a nice quick write-up on it. They write, earlier this week, Bloomberg reported that Hogwarts Legacy would include gender-agnostic character creation options, which will allow users to build out a player character with voice and body types that aren't bound to one another, or any gender presentation. Bloomberg's report added that other developers at Avalanche Software were, quote, sad and frustrated by the controversy the game had drawn. More than a year away from launch, in that the project's management had reportedly resisted developers' attempts to put a trans-inclusive character creator in the game. And I think this speaks to how complicated video game development can be and how many people work on a game, right? Because when you have a studio that is made up of, let's say, hundreds of people, and you have it coming from an IP that has become controversial or problematic for so many people, and then you have teams led by folks who are coming from problematic places, right, and are coming from those places of, yeah, no, you shouldn't be leading on a project like this, right? But other teams within that same studio who are fighting the good fight and are like, hey, we want to make things right, we want to make this a great game because we are multiple years into making this thing, and we want people to feel like we are doing right by this, and the community that is into this, and adding in those trans options, even though the creator was transphobic. You get into this weird place of, fuck, man, what a complicated place to be as a studio, right, yeah. And like being on that team who are the people who are fighting that good fight. Like, I feel for you. That sucks. That this game's name is being smeared by all this other shit. Like, yeah. That is so frustrating to me.
Yeah, I used to have a lot of love for Harry Potter, but I think I guess I kind of grew out of it. And I know there's a lot of people that still fuck with Harry Potter like that, but I feel like over time I've also like looked back at it and thought, oh damn, like that shit's not cool actually. Like, ooh, that's there are aspects of Harry Potter that are that you can draw comparisons or parallels to real life, and there's some. I'm not gonna say here, but like there's just like a lot of things that have come up when you look at it as an adult, as someone who's older, and as someone who also has developed a lot more progressive views. And then I'm just like, I'm kind of distanced myself from Harry Potter as a whole. For this game in particular, like you said, I feel you, and like, because game development teams, we all know game development teams are huge if they're on the AAA scale, such as this. So, and then like having something like a gender inclusive or in a trans inclusive character creator is very important, of course. And it's great to see those sorts of things being implemented into the game. And it just makes me think of like those who fought for that, who pushed for that, who actually created that for the game, and then having something like, there is, as you can say, J.K. Rowling is not a part of this project as much as you want, but it's, at the end of the day, it's Harry Potter, it's her property, it's her IP.
It's layered, especially when at the end of the day the money is gonna go back to her, and she is funding initiatives that are fighting against trans inclusion and trans folks. It sucks too because
people have been constantly hitting me up because I've been very vocal about my love for Harry Potter over the years, and the more with J.K. Rowling bringing out her kind of showing her full ass and her thoughts on the trans community, I've definitely distanced myself from that, and people kind of come at me with the response of like, oh, so you're boycotting this developer team who might not even agree with her takes and stuff like that. And it's like, it's not even that, it's just like knowing that like anything that I buy now, like anything new that I get is going into her wallet eventually, and I don't feel comfortable feeding the machine anymore. It's nothing against the development team as a whole, this one dude also being a problem, but it's just like one of those things where it's just like I don't know if I can keep feeding the machine like that, because it's a lot.
It's complicated too, because I and
I also want to make it clear that I've never said to boycott this game, because people like to twist my words and be like, you're telling people to boycott this game. It's like, nah, just for me personally, I just don't think I can support Harry Potter stuff anymore. So that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, I've also been a fan of Harry Potter movies specifically growing up, right? And like Harry Potter has meant much to me in the past, and I still look back at like movies like Harry Potter and Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm like, man, what a movie and all that stuff. And it gets so complicated and weird too, because I remember last year I read a thread from one of my friends who is trans, and they pretty much tweeted out a thread about how much of a Harry Potter fan that they were, and that was a heartbreaking thing for me. Of fuck, man, like J.K. Rowling is kind of tearing shit away from people who appreciate this thing and want to love this thing, because she wants to be hateful. And it's like it's hard for me to tell folks like that, right? Like folks who are fans of Harry Potter that may be trans, to be like, hey, you can't support this thing anymore because that feels like I'm taking something away from them. And again, this is one of those layered issues of, where does your money go? Who do you want to support? And, where are you coming from with all this stuff? And I don't have the answer, because again, this is multi-layered and complicated, and kind of where I stand is like, fuck J.K. Rowling with this shit. And also I'm glad this guy quit and got out of there. And I hope that leads to the development team being able to see a lot of their visions through. But again, it's hard.
Yeah. One more thing I'll say is that I got a Harry Potter pint glass. I had a Gryffindor pint glass that I got at, was it Universal Studios, where Hogwarts Land is, or whatever. I forgot. It's been a long time. So it was, I think, Bless broke it.
I did.
He dropped it in the kitchen. I think you were like doing dishes or something. You're like moving my shit around, because I don't put my shit away. Neither of us do. But then I heard a glass break, and I was like, I went into the kitchen. I was like, oh shit, are you all right? And he was like, damn, man, I think I broke one of your glasses. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's the Harry Potter glass. And I was like,
I immediately felt better. I was like, oh, damn, it's the Harry Potter one. My bad, bro.
It's all good. I think you did me a favor.
Hopefully you're good. Hopefully you're good with that loss. Yeah, I did feel really bad in the moment, but then Harry Potter kind of fixed it, and so thanks for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Story number 2. Let's talk about Artifact. Valve ends development on Artifact. This is from Mike Minotti at GamesBeat. Valve is ending all development on Artifact, its Dota 2-based digital card game. The company made the announcement today. Artifact debuted in November 2018 for PC. The digital card game didn't manage to sustain an audience, unlike hits like Hearthstone. Artifact did not launch as a free-to-play game. It cost $20, and players could spend more money on cards. Complicated play systems that try to replicate Dota 2's shop and lane mechanics may have also turned off players. Following the failure of the original Artifact, Valve began working on a reboot. Artifact 2.0 entered into closed beta in March 2020. Quote, while we're reasonably satisfied while we're recently satisfied we accomplished most of our game side goals, we haven't managed to get the active player numbers to a level that justifies further development at this time, Valve explains. Both the original version of Artifact and the 2.0 beta, now called Artifact Foundry, will be available for free to everyone going forward. Without any future updates, both titles aren't likely to attract many players. Michael, did you keep up with Artifact at all?
Not really. I mean, I've dabbled in digital card games and CCGs, but I feel like I don't play Dota 2 also. I'm sorry, Ben Pack, but I don't play Dota 2 either. But I follow in a sense of like, okay, we got to keep up with the news. And of course, this is a Valve thing, so this could be a very big deal, but it never really caught that kind of like traction, because like obviously we see our traffic numbers, we see what people are looking for, and Artifact was not one of them. I think the announcement, I remember the announcement story because I think it was at the International, and then folks was like, yo, well, what are they gonna announce? What are they gonna announce? And it's like, boom, a card game. And it was like,
yeah, coming from Valve, it's like, dang it.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I should have seen this coming. It's that kind of thing.
The thing that fucked them up though is like that what you mentioned, or what was in the story, is that it costs $20 to enter that, whereas most CCGs are free to play, and then you pay for card packs. You pay like it's microtransaction based, of course, like any other card game. I used to play Magic, and you buy a starter pack, then you buy booster, and you build a deck based on that, and like that. It is different because the landscape has changed. Whereas you could play Hearthstone, you can play Magic the Gathering Arena now as a free to play thing. Like almost every CCG is free to play, and then you buy into it as much as you want. But I heard good things about Artifact itself as a game, but when you have that sort of barrier, I don't think you're not gonna reach that critical mass that you want. And I imagine like Valve has a very high bar for what successful is as well. So they could be like, yo, it didn't reach our a goal in order to maintain development. So you know what? We're gonna keep it moving and cut your losses, I guess. But if they don't have, if they think they don't have that strong of a community, then of course it doesn't. It makes sense that they're going to move on from this. And I'm sure, Valve, hey, if you getting that Half-Life 3 ready, let me know what's up. But yeah, I mean, you could have seen this coming. So
I remember when I was at IGN when I think it was like Tom Marks and someone else had previewed Artifact, and it was like this fucking big moment of like, yo, Valve is making a game, bro. Like it's been fucking years and years, and it was like I remember they were really excited about it, and it sucks to see it go, but hopefully it makes sense. And
this is definitely
for stuff in the future.
This is definitely where the road is going to end. You hit the nail on the head, and the article mentions it, right? Like it costs $20, and players can spend more money on cards. And that is an impossible thing to get right when you have Hearthstone, which is the biggest player in this space, being free, right? You buy card packs, like you said. That, I mean, it's similar to the battle royale space, right? Where all the most successful battle royales you have in the space right now are free to play. And if you put out a battle royale right now that you have to buy into, it is not going to be successful, right? That's why the top three are Fortnite, Warzone, and I guess Apex will probably be right after that. But if you put out one that you have to pay for, right? Like you saw Battlefield Battle Royale come and go. You saw Hyperscape is free, and so I'm not going to count that. That was more gameplay stuff. Like even Black Ops, what's it called, Blackout. Like that was one where it's like, cool, it's this similar ideas and similar concept as Warzone, but it was packaged into this thing that you had to buy, which made it inaccessible to enough people to where you just didn't have the conversation around it. When you make it free, that's when people are willing to give it a shot or buy or dip their toes in it and hopefully get invested. You didn't really have that opportunity as much for Artifact when you had to actually buy it, right? And then play it, and then it may not be a thing that actually compares to something like Hearthstone. And so rest in peace, Artifact. I hope we get another Half-Life game, because I know people want it, and I would like to play a Half-Life 3 on PC or on a console or wherever you release it. But I wonder if they do. I know they've talked about, like, I know we have Into the Valley of the Gods studio.
Firewatch. The Campo Santo.
Like I know they have Campo Santo, and I know they have game development teams over there at Valve, and I know they've talked about putting out more games and creating new games, but will we actually see them is the question. And right now I'm in the place of, I don't know. We got Half-Life Alyx.
Hey, Half-Life Alyx.
That sold, I guess, decently for a VR game. It
also
performed well critically, but is that enough for them to justify creating more games?
GameSpot's 2020 Game of the Year. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Valve's, they're raking in money. This isn't like a money decision at all. It's more of like, we'll put our resources elsewhere. At least that's how I see it. Because boy, Steam, like they are good.
Lost in the Sauce in chat actually brings up something I was trying to think of, and I couldn't pull it out of the depths of my memory brain because I'm tired because I stayed up for WandaVision. They said PUBG is paid though, which is the one I was trying to think of. Yeah, PUBG was the first one to kind of come out and blow up, and it was a paid battle royale. But PUBG hasn't had the same notoriety since, right? Like Fortnite and Warzone and Apex and other battle royales came out and kind of turned PUBG into this thing that was the hotness in 2017, and people of course still play PUBG today, but it's definitely not the battle royale hotness that it was when it first came out.
Also, PUBG was I covered battle, like I was the battle royale guy at GameSpot when PUBG broke out because I'd been playing like Arma 2 mods before that. But PUBG was the first one to reach critical mass. So the concept of battle royale was extremely novel in 2017. So people who wanted to get in on that hype, I imagine there are a lot more people who are willing to, pay $20 or $30 to jump into it. But once you have Fortnite kind of overtake that as a free-to-play game, that is the new standard. So then all battle royales going forward, if you want to have some sort of success in that space, you need to match what the top dog is doing. And so if Fortnite is free-to-play, everything else is probably going to have to be free-to-play to even stand a chance. So that is also one. It's like, so if Artifact was like the first wild digital card game, and it's like gotta pay $20 to get in, and like everyone's like, oh okay, yeah, I'm willing to pay $20 again to this new shit. But if Hearthstone's already out here, like we're free to play, like we're the most popping in this club, and then Artifact's like, hey, but you want to come over here, pay $20? And like, I'm not gonna pay cover for that. So
exactly. Speed of success, though, story number 3, 2 million people have downloaded the Outriders demo. This is Jordan Alleman at IGN. People Can Fly is patching the Outriders demo to address activity and fix bugs. One major change will make it harder to farm legendary items in the demo after players discovered a loot cave amid other unintended exploits. The full patch notes can be found on Reddit, where a Square Enix representative notes that the popular demo has been downloaded by over 2 million players since its launch on February 25th. Michael, did you get a chance to jump into that Outriders demo, or do you have any interest in playing Outriders?
I previewed Outriders at PAX West 2020. No, PAX East. Oh shit! Wow, that was the last PAX before we went into lockdown.
Quarantine. Yeah, before lockdown.
The last event period before lockdown. But so I played it then, and I was like, it's kind of cool. Like it's a third-person shooter, like Destiny style sort of thing. But it's not really my jam. Like I played it. I feel like I played it before, and that's no shade against the game. Like if that's your thing, if that's your jam, and you fuck with it, like that's cool too. But
how do you feel about the 2 million number?
Oh well, I think it doesn't surprise me. Like if it's free, like people are gonna try it. And if you put out something that is on this scale, like it's Square Enix, it's a Square Enix joint, and all People Can Fly they have a reputation. So I imagine like 2 million people like, oh, it's free. I'm gonna download. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see what's up. Maybe they won't like it. Maybe they will. So it doesn't surprise me. But hey, if that 2 million is indicative of, or if most of those people like if they vibe with the game, then I wish them all the success. I don't think this is something I'm gonna jump into, but I've been peeping the guides, because then we put up the guides. I'm editing. I'm like, oh, this seems interesting. Like the 4 different classes and the way that they play a little bit differently, and the way that some interact, or you can within squads you can team up and like kind of coordinate the way you attack.
Combine like your special abilities.
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing for a game to stand out. So if you're vibing with Outriders, if most of those 2 million people are fucking with Outriders, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I think 2 million is a pretty decent number for a free demo, right? And I hope that speaks to more success for Outriders, because the demo that's been out for everybody now has left me with a little bit of mixed feelings, because I love the action, and I think that's what People Can Fly gets right? Like they know how to do action, they know how to do shooting, but some of the content within it, like the narrative stuff, the cutscenes, and even like the like mission structure and all that stuff didn't necessarily speak to me all the way. But I think when you got good action, that is stuff that you can launch with, right, and kind of get those lumps at launch, but then also build over time, and make it so that you guys are putting in that good content and getting in that good story. And that's not necessarily the way I prefer it to be, right? I prefer them to launch with good story, good content, good action, all that stuff. But I think for this game to be successful, like if this game is successful, that stuff will come, right? Like if Outriders comes out and it turns out to be a hit, we're gonna get that good narrative content. We're gonna get that good mission structure. We're gonna get all the stuff that people kind of feel like they're missing. They're gonna fix the wobbly cutscenes that they got in the game because they always get that shaky cam going for no reason.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like Marvel Avengers is also a Square Enix joint, and if this is going to be another live service game, it's like obviously Crystal Dynamics is different from People Can Fly, so they probably have very different design philosophies. But when you think about how much a certain publisher can push service games, like it's kind of like what we're talking about with Battle Royale and with card games. I'm like, damn, I don't know how many more service games we can pack into the space, and like I don't know if it's drying up, maybe it's not. I don't have the answers, but every time like a new like service based game comes out, I'm just like, damn, another one of those. Like I personally don't have the time for that. Maybe and I never want to wish not success to anybody. I wish them success for this, but and I'll keep my eye on it in case it pops off. But for me, I imagine there's a lot of people who are like, we're deep into Destiny 2. We got this game, we got that game.
Yes.
So.
And I'm definitely with you there. I think it is going to be an uphill battle in terms of getting folks invested, because right now, the thing that Outriders has really is, the thing that Outriders has is the thing that is the thing that they can say about it, which is it is Destiny meets Gears of War. And outside of that, like they don't have the Avengers name. They don't have the Bungie name, right? In terms of, right, like People Can Fly, they've made cool games in the past that people have latched onto, but they've not necessarily had that breakout huge success. They've obviously worked on like shit like Fortnite, right? But that's not theirs. I don't think people look at Bulletstorm and go, yes, from the developers of Bulletstorm, we're gonna show up,
Right,
and that's again not disparaging Bulletstorm, because I know people out there like Bulletstorm, but a game from People Can Fly doesn't sell itself on its own, and so they're really going to need that word of mouth, and they're going to need people to kind of push it up and evangelize it, and that's the thing we'll see at launch maybe, but I think it is going to be quite an uphill battle for them.
Yeah, but you start those conversations with a free demo, so shouts out to them for getting 2 million people.
There you go. Story number 4, Ghost of Tsushima developers are becoming permanent ambassadors for the actual island of Tsushima. I'm going to pull from Chris Scullion at Video Games Chronicle. The real island of Tsushima has given a prestigious award to 2 senior members of the Ghost of Tsushima development team. Game director Nate Fox and creative director Jason Connell will become permanent tourism ambassadors of the city of Tsushima in Nagasaki, the island announced this week. The ceremony will be held digitally due to travel restrictions, and the pair will be presented with the award in a letter of appreciation. To mark the occasion, the city said it'll collaborate with Sony Interactive Entertainment to set up a new tourism campaign based on the game, which is designed to encourage fans to learn more about the island and its key landmarks. In a statement, Tsushima Mayor Hiroki Hidekatsu explained why the pair have been awarded with the honor. Quote, Fox and Connell spread the name and history of Tsushima to the whole world in such a wonderful way, he said. Quote, even a lot of Japanese people do not know the history of the Genko period. When it comes to the world, the name and location of Tsushima is literally unknown, so I cannot thank them enough for telling our story with such phenomenal graphics and profound stories. End quote. This is a pretty cool one to see. Like this is one of those ones where I think this one speaks to how broadly video games can speak to people, right? Like I never thought of Ghost of Tsushima as a game that would teach me about the island of Tsushima itself, right? In a way that would actually speak to the real world history and the real world island of Tsushima. You jump into Ghost of Tsushima, or at least I jump into Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm like, dope. I get to slice through samurai, or I get to slice through in Legends, right? I get to slice through spirits and have fun playing co-op with my friends. But it's really cool to see that the developers are getting actual recognition for doing justice to Tsushima and exposing the world to the island.
Sure. Yeah. I'm, props to Sucker Punch for that. You have, an American team doing that. I tend to have complicated feelings when it comes to, outsiders kind of doing their own take on history. But I mean, I respect the efforts. I think Ghost of Tsushima is a great game, by the way. But I think there's also a romanticization with the concept of samurai. I think the history of samurai is a lot more complicated than looking cool and slashing through motherfuckers. So I hope people also understand that there is also it tends to be a dark history when it comes to Japanese imperialism and things like that. And I'm like, I think Ghost of Tsushima doing this as like garnering interest in history itself, I think that's a cool thing, period. Because games have done that for me. And many, like Assassin's Creed does that like every single game. I'm like, oh shit, I want to know about that period. I want to know about that period. And that's what Ghost of Tsushima is also doing for this here. So, I respect that. But if you do want to get into that history, if you want to know more about samurai, it's a lot more complicated than, we must protect this house and I'm gonna slash motherfuckers.
Yes.
So but also like in terms of like bringing in tourism, I feel like this is the same feeling with Yakuza. Like, I can't wait to, after lockdown, I'm going to Kabukicho and I am going to sing karaoke. I'm gonna turn up. I'm gonna go to the konbini. I'm gonna have like, I'm gonna eat good and things like that. But like, like games, especially like for foreigners, like games like this can like draw so many people. Like, and after playing after being in Kamurocho for so long, I feel like I already know the streets of Kabukicho. I was like on Google Maps. I'm like, this is Tenkaichi Street. This is Nakamichi Street. The clan office is right there, and things like that. So it's just really cool to see games kind of pull people in that way. And
dude,
yeah.
That legitimately reminds me of playing games like San Andreas back in the day, right? Where I'd play that game as a kid, and I shouldn't have been playing that game as a kid, but I was playing that game as a kid. And I remember driving through Los Santos and San Fierro and Las Venturas and kind of understanding that, that was Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Las Vegas, and getting a sense of what those cities were, right? And now that I live in SF, I can kind of see like, oh yeah, it's the hilly streets and that one street that does like the windy thing and all that shit, right? Like, video games can really be like a cool glimpse or a cool tool for tourism. There was a video I remember watching quite a few years ago when Daniel Dwyer still did the point for GameSpot. He did a video about Liberty City and how he was visiting New York City at the time, and he did like a whole tourism thing of, oh yeah, dude, I remember going here in Liberty City, right? He would visit that in the real world New York, and we would break all that stuff down. That stuff I find so fascinating and so cool because you don't really internalize it until you realize it later. That was the thing for me where I didn't realize how much I had connected with, I guess, California as a state, right? And not in a real way, not in a deep down way. Like, I don't know shit about California still, but in a way where I was like, I can kind of tell you the broad strokes of the differences between Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Las Vegas, right, without actually being there, in a very broad way as a kid playing a video game, which I thought was always a cool thing. And then to your point earlier about Sucker Punch and Ghost of Tsushima too, like I kind of had that same fear when the leading up to the game, where I was like, man, okay, this is a Western team. They're working on a very they're working on a game that is set in historical Japan. Let's see how they do it. Like I hope that they do this justice, because there are ways that you can easily fuck that up and get things wrong, and do the thing that a lot of westernized media does, right? Which is depict people in a certain way that isn't true to who they are, right? And like whitewashes things and all that stuff. And that was one of my big questions. One, after playing the game, and being like, okay, thank God this game is good, but also, how did they decide how to tackle Tsushima culturally and all this different stuff? Getting to interview Sucker Punch Studio in our games cast that went up, I think, back in July for our spoiler cast, right? And getting to ask those questions and then having the answers of like, yeah, no, we did a lot of consulting. We went to Tsushima. We talked to people. We did all that stuff. I thought was a very satisfying answer in terms of, thank God they did something. Thank God they got insight. Thank God they actually tried to get things right. Because we see it all the time where folks don't get it right and they don't even try. And it always leads to people being like, what the fuck, man? They don't even speak French in Nigeria. That type of shit.
Yeah, they didn't like watch a bunch of. Well, I mean, obviously Kurosawa was a big influence on, but they didn't watch like Kurosawa films that said, that's it. We're making a game based on that, and that's it. Like,
make it black and white. It's done. They didn't do that.
So, you know what I'm saying. But hey, shouts out to that was the last video Danny O'Dwyer did for GameSpot. Was that trip to New York? Like his last one in 2016. Also, shouts out to GTA San Andreas because Los Santos playing that when I was like 13, 14. I was like, yo, this is home. This is when we walk outside. This is Los Santos. So it was so.
If I walk outside right now, I'll run into some Grove Street or some ballers.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Sky. Oh, I'm all right. I'm relaxed. I'm relaxed. I'm not repping any set over here. All right. Let's keep it moving.
Before we get into the next couple news stories, I want to tell you about our sponsor. Of course, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames where you can get the show ad free. And speaking of ads, this episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily is brought to you by Honey. We all shop online. We've all seen that promo code field taunt us at checkout. But thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupons is a thing of the past. If you're like me, you go and you want to buy something online, you see the promo code field, right? And you're like, okay, let's get to Googling, and you don't find anything. And it's always a frustrating thing. Honey is here to help you out with that. Honey is the free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online. They went from sites that have tech and gaming products to popular fashion brands and even food delivery. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button drops down, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site. If Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop. Kinda Funny loves Honey. Tim Geddes himself has used it for years and has saved thousands of dollars. He says himself, quote, "You are silly if you don't use it. It is free and easy." Honey has found its over 17 million members over $2 billion in savings. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on some free savings. It's literally free and installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/games. That's joinhoney.com/games. We're also brought to you by Logitech. Gaming headsets are important. You want a headset with a good mic, good sound, and a headset that feels comfortable to wear. That's what's best about the G733 wireless gaming headset from Logitech G. The G733 Lightspeed wireless gaming headset comes with a 2.4 gigahertz wireless connectivity, front-facing dual zone, light sync RGB, Blue Voice mic technology, Pro G audio drivers, and multiple colorways to choose from. It also has total freedom with up to 20 meters wireless range with Lightspeed wireless. Keep playing with 29 plus hours battery life. Play wirelessly on PS4 with stereo sound. With front-facing dual-zone light-sync RGB lighting, you can personalize your headset lighting across style and comfort. The reversible suspension headband is designed for ultimate comfort during long play sessions. Each G733 colorway has its own unique headband design. There's also soft dual-layer memory foam that conforms to your head and contours around the jaw for a better seal, which I still have the visual for, and I need to actually pull up a Google image to know how that looks, because that must be cool. That must be like you're really like strapping in for gaming, which is really cool. Reduce stress points and delivers longer lasting comfort. It's available in multiple colorways, each with its own vibrant reversible headband and corresponding ear pads. For a limited time, Logitech G is offering our listeners express shipping at logitechg.com. Use code KindaFunnyDailyFreeShip31 for express shipping today. That's express shipping for all Logitech G products with promo code KindaFunnyDailyFreeShip. Yes, Kinda Funny Daily Free Ship 31. Hurry now, since after this promo, the code expires in 3 days. Kinda Funny Daily Free Ship 31. Last but not least, we're brought to you by DoorDash. You want Chinese, they want pizza, and someone is craving froyo. There's something for everyone on DoorDash. Let me tell you, DoorDash is a regular at this apartment. Isn't that right, Michael?
Geez, yeah. I mean, that Dash Pass is coming in clutch, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. We use DoorDash is probably at this apartment daily. We use it all the time. We're probably going to use it later so we can get some deep dish pizza.
Yes.
It's going to be a good time. DoorDash connects you with the restaurants you love right now and right to your door. And now you can get the grocery essentials you need with DoorDash too. Get drinks, snacks, and other household items delivered in under an hour. Ordering is easy. Open the DoorDash app, choose what you want from where you want, and your items will be left safely outside your door with the contactless delivery drop-off setting. With over 300,000 partners in the US, Puerto Rico, Australia, and now Canada, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, and Cheesecake Factory. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code GAMES2021. For our Canadian listeners, use code GAMESCA. That's 25% off, up to $10 in value, and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code GAMES2021 in the US and GAMESCA in Canada. Don't forget, that's code GAMES2021 or GAMESCA for 25% off your first order with DoorDash, subject to change, terms apply. Michael Higham, I have a couple more news stories for you. Let's start off with Animal Crossing. Story number 5. Animal Crossing New Horizon has detailed its March update. This is TJ Denzer at Shack News. Not like Shaquille O'Neal, like a shack that you hang out in. Nintendo launched a video detailing March content for Animal Crossing New Horizons via the Animal Crossing Twitter on March 5th, 2021. First up, a slew of new capturable critters can be found in terms of fishing, bug collecting, and diving during swimming. The tadpole, orchid mantis, and spider crab will be available to each activity respectively. From March 10th to March 17th, players can prepare for Shamrock Day, that's happening March 17th as well, slapping on some green and discovering all sorts of Shamrock-themed items for purchase in the game shops. Finally, bamboo has come to the game, and you can chop it down and use it in all sorts of DIY recipes for your island decoration. They also detailed some more stuff about Mario Day that's happening March 10th, and you're gonna have exclusive items for that that they announced before during the Nintendo Direct that we got. This is always a fun one to read through because I don't play Animal Crossing. I dropped off at the first 5 hours because I realized that just isn't my type of game. And so when I go back and I read shit like bamboo is making an appearance, I'm like, oh shit,
big deal.
They're getting bamboo. Somebody's very happy about that.
Hell
Cool.
yeah. So
do you play Animal Crossing? Are you an Animal Crossing person?
Not regularly anymore, but I have man on GameCube. Animal Crossing, that was my jam because like I was young and I didn't have anything else to do over the summer, so I lived in Animal Crossing. I have tremendous respect for New Horizons. Also, if you want to keep up with the hottest takes or not the hottest takes, but the best takes and all of the details and the news for Animal Crossing, head over to GameSpot and peep my girl Callie Plaguey, because she is an Animal Crossing master as well as a Pokemon master. Also, shouts out to the Sanrio collab that's happening this month as well. Hello Kitty and Cimarron, like if you
wait, is that an Animal Crossing thing? Is Hello Kitty coming to Animal Crossing?
Yeah. Oh, I think March 26th, if I recall correctly. But yeah, so peep that if you still mess with Animal Crossing, because that game is popping.
Cool. People in chat are saying bamboo was always there. Hold on, I'm reading through this. Finally, bamboo has come to the game, and you can. The news story tells me that bamboo is new.
This is from Shaq. This is from ShaquilleO'Neal.com.
Shaquille O'Neal right here is telling me that bamboo is new, and so take it up with Shaquille.
Let me tell you,
it's not on me. It's on Shaq.
Let me tell you something, Bliss.
What's
barbecue chicken. Do y'all watch basketball? Y'all watch TNT? Damn.
I mean, I know you're doing Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know what the barbecue chicken reference is.
Listen, Chuck, you got no rings. No ring, Chuck. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
is that what Shaquille O'Neal says on the show?
Yeah, he always talks shit about Chuck,
basketball.
Charles Barkley not having any rings. He always talks about barbecue chicken, and he's like the old man who's always like, back in my day, we used to man up. We used to shoot in the post.
It's weird to think of him as old now.
We used to shoot free throws and miss every time.
It's so fucking weird to think of.
That's
him
what he'd be
as
saying.
Yeah. Well, Sam, I had his rookie card. So,
by the way, earlier in chat, some folks were asking, does Michael play the guitar and skateboard?
I do play the guitar. I use the skateboard. This is the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remaster Collector's Edition. So the skate deck, I busted my knees when I was like 14, 15, and I was like, fuck this shit. I'm hanging it up. I'm retiring. But I just recently got a guitar because I used to play guitar since I was 12. So I've been learning a lot of Persona songs, a lot of old Final Fantasy songs as well. So Are
you busting out some of that? Are you busting out some of that? I Believe.
Oh,
Michael, we need to sit down and talk about Persona 5 Strikers at some point. Today is not that day, but we need to do it soon.
Yeah, we will. I've been learning. Dude, Daredevil on guitar is actually really fucking hard. But the Rivers in the Desert remix, that song is so much fun.
Wait, is there a remix for Strikers?
Oh, dude, there's so many remixes for Strikers, man.
I've not made it far at all in Strikers. I cannot wait then, because I love Rivers in the Desert. That's probably my favorite song in Persona 5.
The Last Surprise and the remix and the Rivers and Desert remix and Strikers,
top 10
tier.
Out of 10. Top tier.
Oh my god, super heat.
You know what I'm saying?
Super heat. I'm gonna get on that. Something I won't get on because I've not been playing this game in the last few weeks. Ant-Man might be coming to Fortnite. This is from Gabe Gurin at I said at Ant-Man in my thing, in my title. At GameSpot. Thank you. I was like, crap, where's Gabe Gurin from? This is from Gabe Gurin at GameSpot. We've seen no shortage of Marvel characters in Fortnite already, and it looks like Ant-Man will be the latest hero to join the roster. Leakers have shown a portal tease that strongly hints at the size-shifting hero that they'll be coming soon, though Epic Games has yet to make the news official. Portals have been opening up as part of the 0 Point storyline in Fortnite for the last several weeks, and the latest shows a forced floor. The camera is on the ground with bug noises heard, but Ant-Man himself isn't seen in the video. Data miners found the portal is codenamed Small Fry, which seems to add weight to the Ant-Man prediction. Honestly, if you told me that Ant-Man was already in the game, I would have believed you.
Yep, me too. I'm like, oh shit, I'm surprised. Shouts out to Paul Rudd. That fool don't age. So
he doesn't age at all. Shout out to that Ant-Man. If you're a big Ant-Man fan, get excited because that's coming to Fortnite. Michael, I can't wait for the announcement of Ant-Man in Fortnite, but that announcement is so far away. If I want to know what's coming out to mom drop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every week.
Yeah. Before I do my out today, I was gonna mention this earlier, but I forgot to because it got side railed. I always love when I'm hanging out in my room, where the sultry guitar sounds, and I'm like, oh man, Michael Higham is composing a fucking masterpiece right now. I can tell.
Nah.
I'd be hearing that every now and then. It's great. Out today, we got, let's see here. I got to open up my tab because I accidentally closed it. We got Postal Redux for PS4, As Divine Cross for Xbox Series X/S, Xbox One, and PC, Nina for Switch, American Wild Hunting for Switch, Doug Hates His Job for Switch, Anton Ball Deluxe for Steam, and then 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition is out now on consoles. I have one new date for you. Season 2 of 3 out of 10, that's the episodic playable sitcom about life at the world's worst game development studio, will premiere all 5 episodes for free on the Epic Games Store Tuesday, April 8th. I played a little bit of Season 1 of 3 out of 10, and I thought it was pretty cool. Really funny game. Has a cool art style to it, too. If you haven't tried out 3 out of 10, I believe it's free on Epic Games Store, Season 1, and so try it out. Why not? Go do it. Deal of the day for you. Daisy writes in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, just like you can, and says, I got a deal of the day. According to @PS5Drop on Twitter, Walmart will have PS5s on sale at 3 p.m. Eastern, that's noon Pacific. Their add to cart links are how I was able to purchase 2 PS5s. The first one was lost by the delivery service. Good luck, everyone. If you're still on that PS5 hustle, you're trying to find yourself a PS5, boom, noon today. Be aware, Walmart. Go get them. Michael, people can write in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames where they can get their questions read on the show. They can also squat up, just like Fernando Rodrigues did. Fernando writes in and says, hey, Blessed Michael, since this newfound love for Souls games are kind of funny, I want to invite all the best friends to join me this Saturday as I finish my Dark Souls 1 run. What's the catch, you ask? I'm doing a flight stick run, so I need all the encouragement I can get. Join me at roll_twice, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time /5 p.m. GMT. Love you all, and thanks for all you do, Fernando Rodrigues. If you don't watch Fernando struggle in Dark Souls 1 with a flight stick, again, their Twitch username is roll_twice. They're doing that at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Good luck, Fernando. Of course, you can go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. That's where you write in, let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for people listening or watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and on podcast services around the globe. Nailball just says that I'm a zillennial, or no, a zennial, and no, I am not. I am millennial. All right, I don't do these halvesies thing. I'm a full millennial.
No,
not a zoomer.
But fuck this halvesies shit, you know.
Yeah, no.
You gotta draw fucking lines in the sand at one point, all right, Michael? Whoa. No, you gotta get on board, Michael, all right?
Hey, your boy's still young out here, so you know, I don't. You tell me what generation I belong in. I know boomer, that's for fucking sure.
I got a couple of people here saying that. I got quite a few people here saying that Outriders has distanced itself from being a games as a service type of game. So there you go. It's gonna be. Okay. I guess it's gonna be more. I mean, that makes it sound like it's going to be Godfall, which
we're already
cool.
Wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're wrong. Shit. Damn. I already fuck. Damn, that was early in the show too. Damn. Hate to see it. Fuck.
Let's
My
see
bad.
here. Let's see here. And then we got people saying that bamboo has been available in Animal Crossing. Again, take that up with Shaquille O'Neal. That's Shaq's fault. That Shaq is you're wrong.
Right.
Of course, this is Friday, which means that this is the end of the week. We got a new week coming up, though. It's very exciting. Monday is a few days around the corner. That means we have a new week of hosts for Kind of Funny Games Daily, and it's a very interesting week. It's a very fun week of hosts, all right? Starting Monday, we got Greg and Keza McDonald. Tuesday is Greg and Gary Whitta. Wednesday, it's me, and I'm joined by Janet Garcia, and that's going to be Mario Day, and so we'll make sure to have a lot of Mario fun. On Thursday, it's Tim and GameSpot's Timur Hussein. That should be a fun time. And then on Friday, it's Greg and Irrational Passions' Alex O'Neill. Very incredible week of hosts coming up, and so stay tuned for that. If you're watching this live right now on Twitch, after this is Mike and the KF crew playing some Super Mario 3D World, and so that should be very exciting. Of course, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. We have a Patreon post show for those that are subbed at the silver level of patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, so stick around for that. Otherwise, actually, before I sign off, Michael, what are you working on? Do you have anything you want to plug?
Sure. Yeah. So, earlier this week, I had a big interview with Hironobu Sakaguchi, who is the creator of Final Fantasy, about his new game Fantasian. And there's a lot of cool tidbits in that feature that I did for that game. But also, I have a couple other things coming up. I have interview with Yakuza dev team about the story. Also, another interview for localization for Yakuza Like a Dragon, my favorite game of 2020. And then also I have a Persona 5 Strikers interview coming up as well. So probably next week you can peep that. You know, I'm out here making some moves. Also, if you want to keep up with Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker, the expansion coming up, you know, me or Natalie Flores, we got your back. So pay attention to GameSpot, pay attention to Fanbyte if you play Final Fantasy 14. And also, peep my Persona 5 Royal review. That shit's flames, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. I know I ain't gonna lie
It's
to
a
you.
great it's a great review. Both the Royal review and the Strikers review, fucking top notch.
Flames, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
There you go. Michael, thanks again so much for coming through, hanging out with me. Thanks for being my roommate also. Can't wait for the deep dish pizza we're going to have later. Looking forward to it a lot. And I'm running late in the show, so I shouldn't be telling random stories. But a few weeks ago, we did try to order deep dish pizza. And I'm not going to say we failed, I failed. Because I went on the site, the thing said deep dish for the restaurant I was ordering from. And I don't know what happened, but I came home with the thinnest crust pizza of all time.
Damn.
Yo, that was
we still ate it, so I had a good time, but I've never been so deceived, and so we're gonna make that right tonight, and I can't wait. We got a post show coming up, so stick around for that if you're a Patreon supporter, silver level or above. Otherwise, until next time, Game Daily.
Deuces.